I recently finished Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut. I don't remember why I picked this book up in particular. I know I wanted to read one of Vonnegut's books, and I remember debating between this one and another one, but I don't remember what it was. And I can't say why I picked this one up instead. I don't generally gravitate towards World War II books, even though I have 2 other ones on my bookshelf to be read currently. I'm glad that I picked this one because I really, really liked it. Although it was interesting to get to that point. First of all, this video will be spoiler free, and then I'm going to post on my website a written review that is full of spoilers. Basically, I wrote down a bunch of thoughts I had as soon as I finished the book. I just kind of like went crazy, so I really want to share that, but I'm probably going to do that on the website rather than in video format. First of all, summary. So this book is about a American spy who is being tried as a war criminal. During the war, he was a radio host, like a propaganda promoting radio host for the Nazis, and but he was also an American spy at the same time. But now he's being tried as a war criminal, and that's basically what this book is about. It's about him, and it's him and his story. So he's it starts out with him at the jail, and he's telling his story for the Hafe Institute for the Documentation of War Criminals. So I went into this feeling conflicted because it's supposed to be funny. I mean, the quote on the cover of the book says, "a shaking up in the kaleidoscope of laughter." So that makes me think I'm supposed to laugh at what this guy is talking about. Howard W. Campbell Jr. And I felt conflicted because I wanted to laugh and feel like lighthearted almost, but I also couldn't because I thought, this guy, nothing good's gonna happen. The back of the book says that there'll be a verdict that will haunt us all. And that can't be good. Like, I went into it thinking that we were supposed to sympathize with Campbell and feel like this innocent man was on trial and it was a big misunderstanding, and that like there would be a guilty verdict and that he was going to die, essentially. That thought didn't really make anything funny, and I get that's like the point. It's dark humor, so it's supposed to make light of dark topics. It took me a little bit to really be able to do that myself, to really be able to laugh at what was happening. Although like I was like, things were making me chuckle internally, but like I wasn't really getting there. The first half of the book, it just took me a bit, but things really picked up in the second half of the book, and that's probably because like a lot of things were happening. He was getting more into the meat of the story, and I really got sucked in. I got sucked in the last half of the book. I do want to say that I really liked how Campbell sort of goes on tangents as he's talking. So what he's writing this as sort of like a memoir, but it's not from beginning to end as you would think a like regular story would go. A memoir would go beginning to end. It sort of bounces a bit and like goes off on tangents, sort of, or at least it feels like that, but it makes sense because it feels like he's writing about one topic and then that makes him think of something else, so he writes about it, and that makes him think about something else that he writes about, and it just progresses, and it does progress the story and his story. It's an interesting way to do it, and I really liked it. My experience while reading this book, I was definitely very, how do I say, focused on, or maybe not focused on, but there was always that little voice in the back of my head reminding me that there was a verdict coming and it was going to haunt me. So that kind of colored everything that I read. It affected how I viewed everything in this book, because I was constantly thinking about that and constantly thinking about what I thought the verdict should be, what I thought would be fair if there was something that was fair, and I felt like I was constantly evaluating who I thought Campbell was or what he deserved, as if my opinion mattered. But I think that what is a prominent theme in this book, at least that I was very focused on, is verdict, and how verdicts play a role in how we view things. And I don't mean just a general verdict, I mean both public and personal. There's the decisions that the general public makes about things and events and people, and then there's like different segments of society that have their own ideas and their own views of what is right and wrong, and what the verdict would be in a certain situation. And then you go down to even a personal level. Each person has their own idea of like what should or shouldn't be. And I think that is really big in this book. And I think that creates the morally gray area, rather than there being like a right and a wrong and there being a gray area in between. I think the gray area stems more from the fact that there are so many different and conflicting ideas of what the verdict should be. So yeah, I really liked it, and I definitely recommend reading it. Can you see it? It's not long. I am very much looking forward to picking up another one of Vonnegut's books. If you want to recommend one, I know there's Sirens of Titan and Cat's Cradle. There's probably more. I feel like I've seen a bunch like lined up on a shelf before, but those are the only two that come to mind at the moment. If there are any in particular that you really like, please let me know. And again, I'm going to have a more detailed review, my thoughts on my website. I'll put that link below as soon as I have it up. I don't know if I'll have it up before or after this video goes up, but I'll try to make it like at the same time. We'll just see how much time I have. This was fun, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.